As soon as the sun rose higher, people in the village began gathering near the widow's hut. Not because they were invited, no, because village people always gather when something big is happening. Women whispered as they pounded fufu. Men shook their heads as they sharpened their knives. Children sat on stones and whispered loudly without shame. Did you hear? Adeze is marrying the chief today. She's very lucky. Lucky how? The man is old enough to be her grandfather. I mean, her father's father. But he is rich. Rich people do not get old. Money washes age away. Still, it is not right. She's too young. That chief has married many girls. Where are they today? Some ran away. Some died early. Some are living like slaves. This girl is in trouble. Or maybe she will be wise and enjoy it. Better to cry in a rich man's house than laugh in a poor man's hut. Everyone had an opinion. Everyone had a mouth. Everyone had something to say. Adeze reached the stream. The morning sun shone on the calm water. The birds sang. The cold water touched her feet. This stream had always been her peaceful place, where she fetched water, where she washed clothes, where she met Obiora. But today, the stream felt like a grave. She knelt beside the water, dipped her hands inside, and splashed her face. The cold water helped a little, but her heart still felt heavy. She whispered, Obiora, I am sorry. I did not want this. Forgive me. Then she cried silently, not loud, just small tears falling into the stream. The water carried them away, like it carried her dreams. Back in the compound, when she returned, the women from the chief's household had already arrived. 3 of them, all older than her mother. They wore matching wrappers and big coral beads. Their hairstyles were high and beautiful. Their walking stick was slow and proud. They looked at Adeze like someone might look at a goat they were preparing for a ceremony. One of them said, Is this the girl? Wanyocha smiled widely. Yes, this is my daughter Adeze, the new wife of the chief. The women walked around Adeze slowly, inspecting her like she was checking for flaws. She is fine, soft skin, good shape, young, very young. The chief will like that. Adeze lowered her head. The woman continued, Let us prepare her. The chief is waiting. The women sat Adeze on a low stool. They started with her hair. They plaited it tightly, pulling her scalp again and again. Adeze winced in pain, but they ignored her. Hold your head still, one woman scolded. They rubbed her body with oil until her skin shined. They tied her new wrapper on her waist. They placed coral beads around her neck and wrists. Her mother stood beside them, smiling with pride. She looks like a queen, she said. Adeze felt like a prisoner. She felt like she was being dressed for her own burial. Every bead felt like a chain. Every wrapper felt like a rope. Every touch felt like a reminder that she was no longer free. When they finished, one woman stepped back and nodded. She's ready. Ready? Ready for what? Ready for pain? Ready for sorrow? Ready for slavery? Ready for a marriage she did not choose? Adeze looked at herself in the small mirror they gave her. She did not recognize the person she saw. She saw a girl who looked beautiful on the outside, but whose eyes were full of sadness. Wanyocha placed food in front of her, yam pottage with palm oil. Eat, my daughter, you need strength. Adeze shook her head. I am not hungry. Her mother frowned. Eat. This is not a small day. Adeze took a small spoonful and swallowed it painfully. The food tasted like sand in her mouth. She pushed the plate away. Her mother sighed but did not argue. She was too excited. Today is the day the gods have lifted us, she said again. Adeze whispered, Which goes, poverty is the one pushing this marriage. Her mother pretended not to hear. On the other side of the village, Obiora was pacing outside his house. His eyes were swollen from crying. His clothes were dirty from running. His voice was hoarse. His father came out and placed a hand on his shoulder. My son, you have cried enough. Forget the girl. She was not meant for you. Obiora pulled his shoulder away. Father, I cannot forget her. I cannot. Something is wrong. She will not agree to marry that old man unless she was forced, unless she had no choice. His father shook his head. She said yes in front of the village. The bride price had been paid. It is over. Obiora clenched his fists. No, it is not over. Not yet. I must see her. I must talk to her. I cannot let her go like this. He started walking quickly toward the widow's compound. His father called after him. Obiora, do not go. You will only disgrace yourself. You will fight against people you cannot win. But Obiora did not stop. He walked fast. His heart was beating like drum. He reached the compound and tried to enter. But two strong young men from the chief's group blocked him. One said, where are you going? To see Adeze. I must talk to her. She is my... The men laughed cruelly. She is not yours. She is the chief's wife now. Go home, boy. This place is not for you. Obiora clenched his teeth. He tried to push past them, but they shoved him back. He stumbled and fell on the ground. People were watching. Some felt pity. Some smiled. Some shook their head. Obiora stood up again, his eyes burning. Adeze! Adeze! Can you hear me? Please come out! Please! Inside the hut, Adeze froze. She recognized his voice. Her heart began to beat painfully. The women preparing her hissed. Ignore him. That is a child. You are going to a man's house. Adeze's tears fell. She whispered, Obiora, please go. They will beat you. But Obiora shouted louder, Adeze, look at me. Do not go with them. We can run. I will protect you, please. But he could not say another word. A heavy slap landed on his face. One of the chief's guards stepped forward and hit him again. Obiora fell to the ground, blood on his lip. If you shout again, we will break your bones, the guard warned. Obiora held the dirt in his palms. His tears mixed with dust. He whispered, Adeze, please, do not leave me. But Adeze could not come out. She could not save him. She could not even save herself. By afternoon, drums started beating in the distance. People began to gather along the path. The chief's men came into the compound. One said loudly, bring the girl. The chief is waiting. Adeze's legs shook. The women pulled her gently. Stand up. Walk. Do not cry. But she was crying. Her tears fell like rain. Her mother hugged her tightly. Adeze, my daughter, do not cry like this. This is a good thing. You will thank me in the future. You will live in wealth. You will sleep on soft beds. You will eat good food. Stop crying. Adeze pulled back slowly. Mama, I am begging you. Do not send me away. Do not throw me into this fire. I am only 17. Mama, please. Her mother wiped her tears. Adeze, every woman must marry. Some marry early. Some marry late. Today is your day. Be strong. Do not disgrace me. Those words finished Adeze's hope. She followed the women slowly. Her feet were heavy. Her body was weak. Her mind felt lost. When she stepped out of the compound, she saw people lining the path. Some curious, some pitying, some jealous, some silent. but all watching, waiting. She looked ahead and saw Chief sitting on a decorated stool, smiling, waiting for her. Adeze lowered her head. She felt like fainting. They started walking toward the chief's compound. Drum beat slowly. Women looted. Children followed at a distance. But Adeze walked like a corpse. Her eyes were empty. Her hands were shaking. Her heart was dying. At the edge of the road, she saw someone hiding behind a palm tree. It was Obiora. His face bruised, his eyes red, his clothes dusty. He whispered, "Adeze." She turned her face away quickly, tears falling again. She could not bear to look at him. He fell to his knees as she passed. "Adeze, why? Why did you allow this?" She did not answer. She could not answer. Her voice was lost. Her life was no longer her own again. When they got to the chief compound, it was large, bigger than anything Adeze had ever seen. Wide huts with high roofs, decorated walls, carved wooden posts, clay pots filled with palm wine, servants walking around. She entered through the big wooden gate. People clapped. Drums beat louder. The chief stretched out his hand. "Welcome, my wife." Adeze bowed her head, not out of respect, but out of pain. The truth settles in. Her new life had begun. A life she did not choose. A marriage she did not want. A future she could not escape. The gates of the compound closed behind her, and it felt like the closing of a cage. The first night in the chief's compound felt like a long, painful dream for Adeze. She sat on the bed inside the room they had given her. A room with a high roof, smooth walls, and a soft lamp that burned slowly. She had never been in a room like this. The floor was clean. The beds were thick, and there were clay pots on the shelves. There were big clothes folded neatly. There was even a small mirror hanging on the wall. It was beautiful, but beauty could not erase fear. Beauty could not erase pain. Beauty could not erase loneliness. Adeze folded her legs close to her chest and rocked herself gently. She could hear the drums playing outside. She could hear women singing. She could hear men laughing. Everyone was celebrating her arrival, except her. She was alone. Her heart felt empty. Her body felt heavy. Her spirit felt lost. She closed her eyes and whispered, "Obiora, what will I do without you?" Tears rolled down her cheeks. The door opened slowly, and Chief Ezokafo walked in. He smelled of palm wine and roasted meat. He was smiling proudly. His eyes rested on Adeze. "My wife, why are you sitting alone? Why are you not coming out to celebrate?" Adeze quickly wiped her tears. I am tired, sir." The chief laughed loudly. "Tired? You are young. You should be full of energy. Young women like you should dance in the moonlight." She lowered her head. "I am not used to this place yet." He nodded slowly. "Do not worry. You will get used to it very soon. This place will feel like your home." Adeze did not answer. The chief walked closer and lifted her chin gently. "You are beautiful. You make my house look brighter. Do not cry again. I will take care of you. Anything you want, you will get it." Adeze swallowed hard. "Thank you, sir." He touched her cheek. She did not pull back, but her body stiffened. The chief did not notice, or he pretended not to notice. "Get some rest. Tomorrow you will start learning your duties in the compound. A chief's wife must behave well." He stood up and walked out, closing the door behind him. As soon as he left, Adeze covered her mouth and cried again. When the first bird called in the morning, Adeze woke up. She had barely slept. Her eyes were swollen. Her head was heavy. She washed her face and tied her wrapper properly. Then she stepped out of the room. The compound was already busy. Women are sweeping. Young boys were carrying firewood. Men were preparing hunting tools. Two goats wandered near the kitchen hut. Nobody looked at her. Nobody greeted her. Nobody cared. It was like she was invincible. She stood there, not knowing where to go. Then she saw a tall woman with a long face, wearing heavy beads. The woman was stirring a pot of thick soup. She looked at Adaeze from head to toe with cold eyes. "So you are the new wife," she said without smiling. Adaeze lowered her head. "Yes, ma." The woman nodded slowly. "I am Akuko, the chief's second wife. You are young. You do not know our ways. You will learn them." Adaeze swallowed nervously. "Yes, ma." Akuko lifted her head proudly. "Do not come here to make trouble. This house has rules. You must respect the elders and older wives. You must wake up early. You must work hard. You must never challenge us. If you behave well, we will leave you alone. If you behave foolishly, you will suffer. Do you hear me?" Adaeze nodded quickly. "Yes, ma." Akuko hissed and returned to her cooking. Adaeze stood there quietly. She did not expect warm welcome, but she did not expect this coldness either. A younger woman walked past carrying firewood. She paused, looked at Adaeze and shook her head. "Small girl, you think marriage is play? You will learn." Adaeze blinked, surprised by the rudeness. Another one whispered loudly to her friend. "The chief likes small girls. Every year he brings one. She will not last." Adaeze's heart squeezed painfully. She felt ashamed. She felt lost. She felt unwanted. She took a deep breath and walked toward the corner of the compound, hoping to find a quiet place. But even the quiet corner felt strange. Nothing felt like home. Nothing felt familiar. She was truly alone. Later in the morning, one of the chief's elders called her. "Adaeze, come here." She walked to him and knelt respectfully. "Yes, sir." He looked at her with strict eyes. "As the chief's wife, you must learn our rules. Listen well." She nodded. "Rule number 1. You do not leave this compound without permission, not even to fetch water." Adaeze's eyes widened. But the stream..." "Quiet!" The elder barked. "You are no longer a poor village girl. You are a chief's wife. If you need water, the servants will fetch it." Adaeze swallowed hard. No more walking to the stream. No more fresh air. No more morning peace. No more Obiora. The elder continued. "Rule number 2. You must not speak to strange men. You must not smile at them. You must not let them near you. If you break this rule, you will be punished." Her heart shook. The rule felt like a prison. Rule number 3. You must greet the older wives every morning. If you fail to show respect, they can report you. The chief does not tolerate disrespect. Adaeze nodded weakly. Rule number 4. You must sit beside the chief whenever he calls you. You must not refuse him. Adaeze's stomach twisted. She remembered how tired she felt last night and how she wished he did not touch her. But she had no choice. The elder finished his list and waved her away. "Go and watch the older wives. Learn your duties." Adaeze walked away slowly, like someone walking through deep mud. Inside the kitchen hut, Akugo and the other wives were preparing yam and soup. One of them pointed at Adaeze. "You, new girl, sit down. Peel these yams." Adaeze picked up the knife and began peeling. She moved slowly, carefully. But one wife laughed loudly. "Look at her. She does not even know how to peel yam well. Children of nowadays." Another wife hissed. "She thinks because she is young, the chief will give her everything. She does not know that she has entered a house of work." Akugo looked directly at Adaeze. "Do not act like a princess here. We all work, even if the chief brought you here because of your face. That face will not cook food. Peel well. Adeze bowed her head. Yes, ma. But her hands shook. Her eyes blurred with tears. Suddenly, the knife slipped and cut her finger. Ah! She cried softly. Blood came out. The wives did not show pity. One of them hissed, "Look at her. Even Yam is defeating her." Akugo handed her a dirty cloth. "Tie your finger and continue. Do not be soft here." Adeze nodded and kept peeling, tears falling silently. By afternoon, Adeze had learned something painful. None of the wives wanted her, not because they hated her personally, but because they feared her youth, feared her beauty, feared that the chief would prefer her. To them, she was not a new wife. She was a threat. So they made her sweep the compound twice, fetch water from the clay pot 10 times, wash a pile of clothes she did not dirty, pound fufu until her hands hurt, all while making comments like, "Do it well, young girl. You think marriage is only wearing beads? By the time you finish working, you will understand life." Adeze kept quiet. She did not argue. She did not complain. She did not fight. Because she had no strength and because she was too afraid. In the evening, the chief entered the compound. The wives knelt. The servants bowed. The chief's eyes went straight to Adeze. She knelt quickly. He smiled. "My wife, how was your day?" She lifted her head slightly. "It was fine, fine, sir." Akugo rolled her eyes secretly. The chief touched Adeze's shoulder. "Come and sit beside me." Adeze followed him to a stool. The chief poured himself palm wine. "You will learn fast. Do not fear. You are safe here." Adeze nodded. "Thank you, sir." But she did not feel safe. She felt trapped. He continued speaking, telling her about his farm, his barns, his goats, his palm trees. She nodded when needed. She smiled when expected. But inside, she was empty. Night falls again. When it was time to sleep, Adeze returned to her room. Her whole body pained her. Her hands were swollen. Her back ached. Her head felt heavy. She lay on the wooden bed and stared at the ceiling. The compound grew quiet. Only the crickets sang. Adeze closed her eyes, but sleep did not come. Her mind went to Obiora, his face, his voice, his tears, his pain. She whispered, "Obiora, are you awake? Are you thinking of me? I am sorry. I am sorry for leaving you. I am sorry for everything." More tears dropped. She hugged herself tightly. "I am lonely. Please forgive me." She cried quietly until sleep finally pulled her into darkness. When she woke up the next morning, nothing had changed. Akugo still looked at her with suspicion. The younger wives still whispered about her. The servants still ignored her. The compound still felt like a cage. She picked up a broom and began sweeping. One of the wives walked past and said, "Sweep well, new girl. If you leave dirt, you will hear from us." Adeze lowered her head. "Yes, ma." But as she swept, something inside her whispered, "This is not the life you wanted. This is not the life you chose. This is not the life you dreamed of." And the most painful whisper of all, this is only the beginning. Adeze had now spent many days in the chief's compound, but nothing changed for her. She still felt like a stranger. She still felt like she did not belong. She still felt like she was trapped inside a big, beautiful cage. Every morning, she woke before the sun. She tied her wrapper quietly and stepped out to sweep the compound. She swept the same compound every day. But every day, the ground still looked dirty. No matter how much she cleaned, someone always said she did not sweep well enough. She moved slowly, carefully, trying not to make noise, trying not to annoy anyone. But soon, the wife started waking up, and that was when the trouble usually started. One morning, Adese was sweeping near the goat shed. She was thinking about her mother, wondering if she was happy now that the bride price had been used to buy new things. Suddenly, she heard a sharp voice behind her. You did not sweep that corner well. Look at the sand there. Adese turned around and saw Akugo, the chief's second wife, standing with her hands on her waist. Adese knelt immediately. I am sorry, ma. I will sweep it again. But Akugo was not done. Why are you always slow? Why can you not walk fast like other wives? Are your hands made of water? Adese lowered her head. I am trying, ma. A young wife named Ulaku walked by and laughed loudly. Trying? That is what lazy people say. All the wives standing there laughed along. Adese continued sweeping, but tears tried to escape from her eyes. She blinked fast to keep them from falling. She did not want them to see her cry again. They already called her crying wife behind her back. She tries to learn, but the compound is harsh. By afternoon, Adese was in the kitchen hot, pounding yam. Her hands hot, her shoulders pained her, her waist felt weak. But she kept pounding. Pound harder, one of the wives shouted. Adese changed her position and pounded faster. But the yam was thick and heavy. You are too weak, Ulaku said. Does the chief know he married a weak girl? Akugo added. Maybe the chief will soon get tired of her. Young girls are only sweet at the beginning. Later, they become useless. They laughed again. Adese kept her head down. When she finished pounding, sweat covered her whole face. Her wrapper was wet. Her hands shook. The wives looked at her with small smiles, enjoying her suffering. Go and fetch water, Akugo told her. Adese carried the clay pot and staggered toward the big water container near the chief's hut. As she bent to fill her pot, she heard quiet whispers from some girls nearby. That is the chief's new wife. She looked tired. The wives are dealing with her. They will break her. Adese acted like she didn't hear them, but she did, and every word felt like a knife. One evening, the chief returned early from a meeting with the elders. He entered the compound and saw Adese sitting alone near a small fire. She was rubbing her hands, her head bent low. He walked to her. My wife, you look tired. Adese stood quickly. Good evening, sir. Why are you sitting alone? Why are you always quiet? She swallowed hard. I am fine, sir. But her face did not look fine. Her eyes looked sad. Her shoulders looked weak. Her voice sounded small. The chief frowned. Have the older wives been treating you badly? Adese froze. Her heart jumped. If she said yes, the wives would hate her more. If she said no, she would be lying. She whispered, No, sir, they are teaching me. The chief looked into her eyes. He did not fully believe her. If anyone troubles you, tell me. You are my wife. You should not suffer. Adese forced a smile. Yes, sir, thank you. The chief nodded and walked away. But as soon as he left, Adese's smile disappeared. She stared at her hands again. She did not know how long she could continue pretending. The older wives noticed something. The chief now called Adese more often. He greeted her gently when he entered the compound. He smiled at her. He even asked her to pour his palm wine at night. This made their hearts burn. Akugo whispered to Ulaku one night, We cannot allow this small girl to steal the chief's attention. I was here before her. I have suffered in this house. She will not come and take my place. Ulaku nodded. We must teach her more lessons. She will soon understand her position. From that day, they increased Adese's load of work. They made her wash all the plates. They made her pound 2 mortars of fufu alone. They made her fetch water 4 times in a row. When she made mistakes, they all shouted. When she cried, they laughed. When she kept quiet, they insulted her more. Slowly, their jealousy turned into anger. Slowly, their anger turned into hate. And Adese became their target. every day. After one long day of endless work, Adeze returned to her room and sat down. Her head was spinning, her throat was dry, her body was shaking. She felt cold even though the night was warm. She lay down, hoping the feeling would pass. But by morning, her temperature was very high. Her body felt like fire. Her lips were dry. Even her eyes hot. She tried to stand, but her legs were weak. The wife saw her walking slowly. Akugo hissed. "What is wrong with you? Why are you moving like an old woman?" Adeze whispered. I am not feeling well." Ulako folded her arms. "So? Does that stop you from working? Are you the first wife to fall sick? Work small, you will get better." Adeze bent to lift a pot, but her hand slipped. The pot fell. It broke into pieces. Akugo shouted, "Are you mad? Do you know how much that pot cost? Stupid girl." Adeze fell to her knees and held her head. I am so sorry. I am sorry. I did not mean to break it." Ulako clapped her hands mockingly. "See her crying again. Useless small wife." Akugo stepped close and hissed in her face. "If not for your young body, the chief would not have noticed you. Now you are here causing trouble. One day you will leave this house just like the others." Adeze felt tears running down her face, but she did not speak. She was too weak, too sick, too tired. Later that evening, the chief returned. He entered the compound and saw Adeze sitting on the ground, leaning against the wall, shivering. Her wrappers were rough. Her hair looked scattered. Her eyes looked dull. He rushed to her. "Adeze, what is wrong?" She tried to stand, but she fell back. I am sick," she whispered weakly. The chief turned to the wives. "How long has she been sick?" Akugo looked away. She only said she was tired." "Tired?" the chief shouted. "Look at her. Does she just look tired? Why did nobody tell me? Why did nobody take care of her?" Ulako shrugged. "We all have work. If she is sick, she should rest." "Rest?" the chief repeated angrily. "You left her to faint in the compound? Is that how wives behave?" The wives kept quiet. They did not expect the chief to react like this. He lifted Adeze up gently. "You should have told me," he whispered. Adeze could barely speak. "Sir, I tried, but her voice failed. The chief carried her into her room and laid her gently on her bed. He touched her forehead. It was so hot. "Get the healer, now," he shouted. The wives ran out immediately. Not long after, the village healer entered. She placed her herbs on the floor and began checking Adeze. She touched her neck. She checked her eyes. She pressed her stomach gently. She listened to her breathing. The chief stood beside her, worried. Akugo and the other wives stood at the door, watching silently. Finally, the healer spoke. "She is very weak. She has been overworking her body. Her strength is gone. She needs rest. She needs food. She needs time." The chief turned to the wives. "Did she not rest? Did she not eat?" The wives looked down. None of them answered. The healer mixed herbs and gave Adeze to drink. Adeze swallowed slowly. "She will recover," the healer said, "but she must stay quiet and rest for many days. If not, her body will get worse." The chief nodded. "She will rest. I will make sure she rests." The healer left. The chief looked at Adeze again. She whispered, Thank you, sir." He touched her hand. "Do not thank me. You are my wife. I must protect you." But Adeze closed her eyes, and behind her closed eyes, she saw Obiora. For the next few days, Adora stayed in her room. The chief ordered the wives not to disturb her. He brought her food. He brought her water. Sometimes he even sat beside her and asked how she felt. The wives stood outside angry and jealous. When the chief walked away, they whispered, She's pretending. She wants the chief's attention. She's using sickness to get favor. But Adaeze was not pretending. She was truly weak and sick. Every day, she cried silently when she was alone. She cried for Obiora. She cried for freedom. She cried for her lost childhood. She cried for the life she wished she had. But she never cried loudly. The walls had ears. After some days, the wives grew impatient. Akugo called the other wives behind the large barn. Her face was dark with anger. This sickness will give her power if we are not careful. The chief is already giving her attention. Soon, she will rise above us. We must stop that before it happens. Ulaku nodded. What will we do? Akugo smiled thinly. We will not touch her. We will not beat her. We will not insult her for now. If the chief sees that, he will punish us. But we can still make her suffer in quiet ways that nobody will see. The younger wife smiled slowly. Ulaku leaned forward. What do we do? Akugo whispered something softly. The wives nodded. Their eyes shined with wicked excitement. Adaeze did not know it, but something dark was coming. Something she would not expect. Something that would break her even more. The cracks had begun, and they were about to grow wider. Adaeze's sickness slowly reduced after some days. Her temperature went down. Her body stopped shaking. She could walk again without falling. But even though her body was getting strong, her heart was getting weaker. The chief visited her less and less as the days passed. The wives started smiling again, but not soft smiles. They were smiles full of danger, smiles full of plans, smiles full of wicked thinking. Adaeze felt it. She felt it in the way they looked at her. She felt it in the way they whispered when she passed. She felt it in the air around the compound. Something bad was coming. Something she could not avoid. Something that would break her in a way she never expected. One night, Akuko called the wives behind the big cooking hut. The moon was bright. The night was quiet. It looked like a peaceful moment, but the wives gathered with bitterness in their hearts. Akuko spoke first. This small girl thinks she has won because she was sick. The chief stayed beside her. Because she is young, he smiles at her. Because she is new, he forgets us. Ulaku hissed loudly. We cannot allow her to take our place. She is too young to become important here. Another wife added, if we leave her, the chief may even give her more power. He may move her into the big room. He may tell her to watch over us. I cannot accept that. Akugo nodded slowly. We will deal with her, not with strength, but with wisdom. She must fall. She must cry. She must feel pain. And the chief must think it is her own fault. The wife smiled wickedly. Their eyes shined like snakes in the dark. What will we do? Ulaku asked. Akugo leaned closer and whispered, we will break her spirit. Slowly, gently but surely. She will make a mistake and the chief will be angry. Then her place will drop. Then her tears will flow. Then we will take our position back. They all nodded. The plan had begun. Adaeze did not know that the quiet compound around her was full of invisible traps. The next day, Adaeze woke up early and swept the compound like always. She walked slowly but carefully because her sickness had just ended. She did not want to make mistakes. She did not want the chief to think she was lazy. She did not want the wives to have reason to insult her. But as she swept, she noticed something strange. The wives were watching her. They were not shouting today. They were not insulting her today. They were not laughing at her. They were quiet, too quiet. Their silence felt strange, like a calm wind before a heavy storm. Adaeze finished sweeping and went to fetch water. When she reached the water pot, she saw that the pot was full. That was strange. The pot was never full in the morning. She looked around. Nobody was near her. She bent down and scooped water into the smaller pot the chief used to wash his hands. But as she scooped the water, she saw something move inside the big pot. She looked closer. Her eyes widened. It was dirt. Someone had put dirt into the water pot that morning. Adese's hand shook. Who did this? She whispered. But she already knew. Someone wanted her to fetch dirty water and serve the chief unknowingly, so they could blame her later. She quickly poured out the water and went to the stream to refill the pot. When she returned, Ulaku walked by and smiled like a crocodile. You are sweating early this morning, small wife. Why are you working so hard? Adese did not answer. Ulaku smiled again and walked away. Adese felt fear. From that day, strange things began happening around the compound. One afternoon, Adese went to take pepper from the storage hut. The pepper bowl was gone. She looked everywhere. It was not there. She returned to the wives. I did not see the pepper. Ulaku folded her arms. So you want to say someone stole pepper? Are you mad? Akugo snapped. You are careless. The chief's pepper is missing because of you. Useless girl. Adese felt confused. She returned to the storage hut again. This time, she saw the bowl hidden behind a clay pot. Someone had moved it on purpose. She brought it out. Akugo hissed loudly. You did not check well before, lazy girl. If the chief asks, we would tell him you almost lost his pepper. Adese lowered her head. I am sorry, ma. They laughed and walked away proudly. 3 days later, Adese woke up to wash the chief's blue wrapper, the one he liked wearing for village meetings. She washed it carefully. She rinsed it carefully. She dried it carefully. When she went to bring it in, it was not on the line. Adese froze. She checked the ground. She checked behind the hut. She checked near the goat shed. The wrapper was gone. Her heart began to beat fast. Where is it? Where is it? She whispered. Suddenly she saw it on the ground near the refuse pit. Dirty, dusty, stepped on. Someone had taken it from the line and thrown it down. Adese picked it up, trembling. Her eyes filled with tears. She knew what would have happened if the chief asked for it. Before she could wash it again, Akugo walked by and stopped. She looked at the wrapper. She smiled. So you dropped the chief's clothes in the dirt. You are finished. No, ma. Someone... Quiet! Akugo snapped. If the chief hears that you spoiled his wrapper, you will cry tears you have never cried before. Adese felt dizzy. Her hand shook as she washed the wrapper again. Her tears mixed with the water. Her spirit felt weak. The wife's plan was working. That evening, the chief returned from a long journey. Adese knelt to greet him. Welcome, sir. He nodded, but he did not smile. Where is my blue wrapper? I want to wear it tomorrow. Adese felt her throat close. I am washing it again, sir. It will be ready. The chief frowned. Why are you washing it again? Did you not wash it in the morning? Akugo walked forward before Adese could answer. My husband, do not be angry, but your wrapper fell on the ground earlier. We saw it. Dirt covered it. This girl does not tie cloth well on the drying line. She is careless. The chief turned sharply to Adese. Is that true? Adese opened her mouth, closed it, opened it again. She wanted to speak the truth. She wanted to say someone removed the wrapper. But the wife stood behind the chief, waiting to pounce like wild dogs. She whispered, yes, sir, I am sorry. The chief shook his head. Adese, you must learn to do things well. I do not like careless wives. Do not make this mistake again. Adese nodded weakly. Yes, sir. That night, she cried quietly in her room. Her tears soaked her bed. The wives became bolder. They started hiding things she needed. They removed salt from the food she was cooking. They poured extra pepper into the chief's soup and blamed her. One day, Akugo tied a basket of raw cassava outside the storage hut. She counted the cassava pieces and whispered to the younger wives, "Remove 3 pieces when Adeze goes to fetch palm oil later." When the chief asked, we will say she sold cassava to some girls outside. They all laughed. Another day, Ulaku put a stone inside Adeze's cooking pot to make it look like she didn't wash the pot well. Another day, one wife put a small dead lizard near Adeze's sleeping bed. When Adeze saw it, she screamed softly and covered her mouth. Ulaku laughed loudly. "Are you afraid of small lizard? You are truly a child." All these small attacks broke Adeze slowly. A little one today, a little one tomorrow, a little one next week, until her heart was no longer strong, until her mind was full of fear, until she was always shaking inside. The chief began to notice Adeze's mistakes. Her food sometimes tasted strange. Her water was sometimes too warm. Her sweeping sometimes missed small corners. He began to speak to her with sharp voice. "Adeze, why is this soup too salty?" "Sorry, sir." Adeze, sorry is not enough. Do you want to kill me with salt?" Another day, "Why is the fufu soft like this? Did you not pound it well?" "I did, sir." "Then why is it soft? Do not let this happen again." Another day, "Why is this room dusty? What are you doing all day?" Adeze bowed her head and cried silently. The chief used to speak softly to her. Now he shouted. The wife smiled behind him. Their plans were working, and slowly the chief was turning against Adeze. One afternoon, when the sun was very hot, Adeze went to wash plates behind the big hut. She bent down. Her back hot, her head hot, her mind hot. She finished washing and carried the clean plates carefully. As she walked back, Ulako stretched her foot and pushed Adeze slightly. It looked like a small thing, but Adeze fell. The plates scattered, 2 broke, 1 cracked. Dust covered everything. Before she could stand, Akugo appeared. She screamed immediately. "What is this? The chief's plates? How can you be so stupid? I fell." Adeze stammered. Ulako cut her off. "She is lying. She was walking carelessly. She does not look where she is going." "The chief will punish you for this," Akugo shouted. Adeze picked the broken pieces with shaking hands. Her tears dropped on the ground. The wives watched her like hyenas surrounding a weak animal. At that moment, Adeze felt something inside her break. A quiet cracking sound. Her heart cracked. Her spirit cracked. Her strength cracked. She whispered to herself, "I cannot do this anymore. I cannot. I cannot." She dropped the broken plate and sat on the ground, shaking. Her mind went blank. Her chest felt tight. She could not breathe. She could not think. She could not move. She felt like the world was closing around her. She felt like the compound was swallowing her alive. She felt like death was calling her name. This was her breaking point. The wives watched her fall apart, and they all smiled. Their plan had succeeded. At that exact moment, the chief walked into the compound. He saw Adeze sitting on the ground. He saw the broken plates. He saw the wife standing like judges. He frowned deeply. "Adeze, what happened? What have you done again?" Adeze looked up at him. For the first time, she could not speak. She opened her mouth, but no words came out. Only tears. Akugo quickly knelt. "My husband, she broke your plates. Not 1, not 2, many. We told her to walk carefully. She did not listen." Ulako added, "She has been making too many mistakes. We are tired of covering for her." The chief turned to Adeze. His voice was loud. "Adeze, explain yourself. What is wrong with you these days? Do you want to bring shame into my house?" Adeze tried to speak. I. Her voice cracked. Her tears poured. Her hands trembled. She felt dizzy. The chief shook his head in disappointment. Stand up. Go inside. I do not want to see you now. Adeze stood slowly. Her legs were shaking. She walked into her room like a ghost. The wives watched her, their eyes shining with victory. The cracks had opened fully. Adeze was no longer herself. Something inside her was dying, and nobody cared, except one person. Far away, in another part of the village, someone still thought of her every day. Someone whose heart still burned with pain. Someone who was ready to do something dangerous, because love does not die easily. Something big was coming, something that would change everything. The sun was rising slowly over Umuagu village, coloring the sky with soft orange light. But inside Obiora's heart, nothing felt bright. Nothing felt warm. Nothing felt peaceful. Every day since Adeze was taken away, he woke up with the same pain inside him. A pain that refused to go. A pain that refused to rest. A pain that burned like fire. He still remembered the day the chief's guards dragged him like a common goat. He still remembered how Adeze cried. He still remembered how helpless she felt. He still remembered how his heart broke into pieces. Even though many days has passed, the wound was still fresh. It refused to heal. It refused to close. Every morning, his mother placed food in front of him. Yam, rice, akara, roasted plantain, anything she could prepare. But Obiora hardly touched it. He pushed the food away. He stared into space. He looked like someone carrying a heavy load on his chest. He spoke very little. Sometimes he walked into the forest alone and stayed there until evening. Sometimes he sat beside a stream, throwing stones inside the water, watching the circles disappear. His friends tried to cheer him up. Obiora, forget that girl. Many girls are in this village. Obiora, you are young. Focus on your farming. Obiora, love is not everything. But he did not listen. Their words sounded like noise to him. Adeze was gone, taken, forced, locked away. How could he forget? How could he move on? His heart refused. One evening, as Obiora sat outside, staring at the road, his mother came out with a stool and sat beside him. Her name was Okoma, a kind woman with soft eyes and gentle voice. She placed her hand on his shoulder. My son, Adeze is now another man's wife. This pain in your eyes is too much. You have carried it for too long. You must let go. You must live again. Obiora shook his head. His voice came out low and weak. Mama, I cannot let her go. I cannot forget her. My heart does not want to forget. She did not leave me by choice. She was pushed into that marriage. She was forced. His mother sighed. We all know that, my son. But what can we do? The chief is powerful. His words move the elders. His money guides the people. You are only a young farmer. Do not fight what you cannot win. Obiora looked at her with pain in his eyes. Mama, if I do nothing, if I sit here and watch her suffer, will I ever forgive myself? Will my heart ever rest? She held his hand softly. My son, listen to me. The world is not fair. Sometimes the poor suffer while the rich enjoy. But you must be careful. You must not throw your life into the fire. Adeze would not want that. Obiora looked away. He knew his mother was right, but his heart was louder than his mind. As days went by, people in the village started whispering. Small talk at first, then bigger talk, then louder. They whispered about what was happening inside the chief's compound. Women at the stream said, I heard the young wife is not happy. I heard the wives are troubling her. I heard she cries every night. I even heard she felt sick last week. The men at the palm wine place added, The chief does not like women who make mistakes. The wives do not like her beauty. They will not let her rest. I saw the chief shouting 2 days ago. Something is wrong. Obiora heard these whispers. At first, he tried to ignore them. But the more he heard, the more his heart squeezed. One evening, he heard two women talking near the market. They did not know he was listening. One woman said, "That girl Adeze, she looks like someone who wants to run away. I saw her eyes when I passed the chief's compound. Sadness covered her face like dust." The other woman replied, "Ha, that is what happens when you marry your father's mate or your father's father. That old man is not a husband. He is a prison." Obiora's body stiffened. His hands clenched. His chest burned. He walked away quietly, fighting tears. The whispers were too much. His heart felt like it would tear open. 3 days later, Obiora was walking past the marketplace when he heard the most painful thing yet. A group of young boys were talking loudly. One boy said, "My mother said the chief's young wife fainted yesterday. The wives nearly finished her." Another boy laughed. "Maybe she is too soft, or maybe she misses her boyfriend." The boys laughed loudly. Obiora stopped walking. His whole body stiffened. Fainted. Adeze fainted. His heart began to beat fast. His fingers shook. His throat dried. He turned to the boys. "What did you say? Adeze fainted?" The boys looked at him and recognized him. Their laughter stopped. One boy spoke softly. "Yes, people said she fell down. She's not happy in that compound." Obiora did not wait to hear more. He walked away quickly. His heart was beating like a drum. Inside him, something snapped. Something broke loose. Something he could no longer control. A voice in his mind whispered, "You must go to her. You must see her. You must help her. You must not wait anymore." For the first time since she was taken, Obiora no longer felt fear. He felt only one thing: determination. He must see Adeze again, even if it was dangerous, even if the guards would beat him, even if the chief would shout. He would see her. Nothing could stop him now. Before sunset, Obiora returned home. His mother was cooking. His father has gone out. She turned and saw his face. She almost dropped her spoon. "Obiora, what happened? Your eyes look like fire." He breathed deeply. "Mama, I must go to the chief's compound." Her eyes widened. "Are you mad? Do you want to die? Do you want them to beat you again?" He slowly shook his head. "I cannot stay here and do nothing. I heard Adeze fainted. I heard she is suffering. Mama, if she dies, what if I never see her again? My heart cannot carry this pain anymore. I must see her, even if it is only one time." His mother dropped the spoon and grabbed his arm. Her voice trembled. "Obiora, listen to me. The chief will not allow you near her. The guards will not let you inside. If you go there, you will cause trouble. Trouble you cannot handle." But Obiora's eyes were steady, strong, determined. "Mama, if I die helping someone I love, I will not regret it." His mother's heart broke. Tears filled her eyes. She cupped his face in her hands. "My son, may the gods protect you, because I cannot stop you. And your father, you would have waited for your father to come back before you go. May the gods guide you." Obiora hugged her tightly. Then he left. The sky turned dark. Night came quietly. Crickets began singing. Wind blew gently. The moon rose high. But Obiora's heart was not calm. He walked slowly towards the chief's compound, hiding behind trees, avoiding anyone who might see him. His heart beat loudly in his chest. Every step carried pain, fear, and hope. When he reached the back of the chief's large compound, he hid behind a big palm tree. He listened. Silence. He peeped through a small opening in the fence. He could see the compound from there, and he saw Adaeze. She was sitting alone near a small fire. Her shoulders were bent. Her head was low. Her eyes looked tired. Her body looked thin. His chest tightened. Tears filled his eyes. Adaeze. He whispered her name softly, even though she could not hear him. He had missed her voice, missed her smile, missed her gentle spirit. She looked like a flower drying in the sun. Obiora's heart broke all over again. He wanted to climb the fence. He wanted to run to her. He wanted to hold her. But he knew it would be dangerous. He stayed hidden, watching, hurting, waiting. Inside the compound, Adaeze is falling apart. She sat beside the fire, hugging her knees. Her eyes were swollen from crying. She had not eaten since morning. Her stomach hurt. Her head hurt. Her spirit hurt. She whispered to herself, I cannot do this anymore. I am tired. I am tired. Another tear dropped, and another, and another. From the corner where she sat, Adaeze looked like a lonely shadow. A shadow with no future. A shadow with no happiness. A shadow that felt like fading away. Suddenly, the front gate opened loudly. The chief entered. His face was hard. His voice was sharp. He had argued with other elders that day, and he was in a bad mood. He saw Adaeze sitting alone. Adaeze, why are you sitting here? Did you finish your work? She wiped her face quickly. Yes, sir. Did you wash my clothes? Yes, sir. They are dried now. And my room, did you sweep it? Adaeze hesitated. Her hands trembled. I was going to sweep it now. The chief exploded. Now? Are you serious? I told you earlier. Must I repeat myself every day? Adaeze shook. I am sorry, sir. I will sweep it now. He stepped closer, his voice rising. Adaeze, you are becoming a problem in this house. You cry too much. You make mistakes too much. You behave like a child. What is wrong with you? Adaeze's lips shook. Tears rose again. Please, I am trying. The chief hissed loudly. Try harder. If you cannot behave like a wife, you will see another side of me. Adaeze bowed her head and cried quietly. The chief walked away angrily. Obiora sees everything. Behind the fence, Obiora's heart nearly burst from pain and anger. He wanted to shout. He wanted to jump in. He wanted to protect her. His fists tightened. He shouted at her. She's suffering. She's crying because of him. His eyes became hot. His breathing became sharp. But he did not move, not yet. He whispered, Adaeze, I will not leave you like this. I will not allow them to destroy you. I will find a way to help you, even if it kills me. As Obiora watched, a guard holding a spear walked near the back fence. Obiora quickly bent down, hiding behind the palm tree. His heart almost jumped out of his chest. The guard walked slowly, looking around. If the guard found Obiora, he would beat him. He would drag him to the chief. He might even injure him badly. Obiora waited quietly, barely breathing. The guard passed. Obiora's heart calmed slowly. He looked at Adaeze one last time. She was still crying, still lonely, still suffering. He whispered again, I will come back for you, I promise. Then he stood up quietly and disappeared into the night. Moments later, Adaeze lifted her head. She felt something strange, something warm, something gentle, something like love. She wiped her tears and looked around. There was nobody there, but her heart whispered, Obiora. For the first time in weeks, she felt hope, a small one, a tiny one, but still real. She placed her hand on her chest. Obiora, I miss you. I wish I could see you again. The fire crackled. The night deepened, but her heart felt a small light. She did not know Obiora had just watched her. She did not know he was ready to risk everything for her. She did not know a storm was coming, a storm that would shake Umwago village, a storm no one could stop. The days after Obiora secretly watched Adeze became heavier in the chief's compound. Even though Adeze did not see him, she felt his presence in her heart. She felt like someone who loved her was close, someone who cared for her, someone who had not forgotten her. But that small comfort was not enough to protect her from the wickedness inside the compound. The wives had not stopped their plans. In fact, they were becoming worse, more dangerous, more wicked, more determined to break her completely. The next morning, Adeze woke up before the sun. She washed her face quickly and tied her wrapper. Her body still hot from the chief shouting the night before. Her eyes were still swollen from crying. Her hands still shook from fear. She stepped outside and began sweeping. The compound was still dark and quiet. Only the crickets made noise. Adeze swept slowly, thinking about her past life. She remembered her mother's small hut. She remembered the laughter she had with her friends. She remembered the peace she felt waking up in her mother's compound. She remembered how she used to fetch water at the stream happily. She remembered Obiora, and her heart tightened painfully. Why did life bring me here? She whispered. Her broom slowed, tears gathered in her eyes, but she kept sweeping. Suddenly, she heard a noise behind her. Footsteps moving quickly. She turned. It was Ulako walking with a small clay lamp. Her face was hard, her voice sharp. Stop sweeping and come to the kitchen hut. We need to prepare food early. The chief has visitors today. Adeze nodded. Yes, ma. She dropped the broom, washed her hands at the clay pot, and followed Ulako. Inside the kitchen hut, the wives were already gathered. Akugo stood beside a pile of yam tubers. Another wife was washing bitter leaves. Two younger wives were placing larger pots on the fire. Akugo turned sharply to Adeze. You, cut the yam, and do not cut it too big or too small. If you spoil it, you will regret it. Adeze swallowed hard. Yes, ma. She sat down and began cutting the yam carefully, but her hands were shaking. Her mind was far away. She was thinking of Obiora again. Was he safe? Would he come back? Would he risk his life for her? Because if he did, the chief would never forgive him. Adeze cut the yam slowly. She kept her eyes on the knife, but her mind was somewhere else. Suddenly, ah! Look at what you are doing, Akugo shouted. Adeze jumped. Her knife almost slipped. Akugo snatched a piece of yam from the bowl and held it up. Is this how to cut yam? Is this how the chief likes it? Are you trying to disgrace us today? Adeze lowered her head. I am sorry, ma. I will cut it well. I was not thinking. Ulako cut her off. Then start thinking. Or we will help you remember. All the wives laughed. Adese's eyes filled with tears. Her chest rose and fell fast. I am sorry. I am sorry, Ulako hissed. Sorry cannot cook food though. Hurry up. Adeze cut faster. Too fast. Her hand slipped and the knife caught her thumb. She gasped. Blood ran down her hand. The wives looked at her, but none of them moved to help. Akugo even laughed. You see, little mistakes everywhere. This girl will kill us one day. Adeze held her bleeding hand with her wrapper. She felt a deep sadness settle in her heart. She was tired of living like this. After some time, Adeze finished cutting the yam. She washed her hand and placed the yam inside a pot of water. Akugo walked over to her. You will cook the soup today. Adeze blinked. Her heart raced. The wives never trusted her with important meals. Me? Cook the soup? But Akugo raised her hand. Do not argue with me. Just cook it. If it tastes bad, the chief will know who to blame. All the wives smiled. And as a fell fear entered her stomach. They wanted her to fail. They wanted her to make a mistake. They wanted the chief to punish her. She picked up the pot, her hands shaking. She placed it on the fire. She stirred slowly, watching every ingredient. But she did not know one thing. Ulako had quietly placed a small bowl of salt mixed with white powder near the pot. It looked like salt. The wives knew the chief hated too much salt. They wanted Adeze to put it inside the soup. They wanted the chief to shout. They wanted him to punish her. Adeze turned to take the pepper. Ulako quickly poured the salt mixture into the pot. Then she stepped away quietly. When Adeze turned back, she did not know anything happened. She continued cooking. Later, she tasted the soup. Her eyes widened. Ah, why is it salty? I did not add salt yet. Akugo snapped. You are lying. You put too much salt, foolish girl. Adeze shook her head. No, ma, I did not. So the salt worked inside by itself. Ulako asked mockingly. Adeze's hands began to shake. Maybe someone... Akugo shouted. Are you calling us liars? Are you saying we are wicked? Adeze covered her mouth quickly. No, ma. I am not saying that. I am sorry. She wanted to save herself from more trouble. She wanted the shouting to stop. But unknowingly, she accepted the blame. The wives smiled quietly at each other. Their plan was working perfectly. By afternoon, the compound was full. Men from another village had come to see the chief. They sat under the big tree, laughing and drinking palm wine. The chief sat proudly in their midst. He shouted, "Bring the food! I want my visitors to taste the best soup in the village." The wives carried the dishes outside, smiling. They placed everything on the large wooden table. Adeze stood at the side, trembling. She knew the soup was salty. She knew the chief would be angry. She knew the wives would blame her. Akugo carried the soup bowl and placed it in front of the chief. He lifted a spoon. He took a large scoop. He put it into his mouth. He chewed. He swallowed. His face changed. His eyes narrowed. His lips tightened. Then he coughed loudly. What nonsense is this? Silence fell over the whole compound. The wives lowered their heads. The visitors looked around, confused. The chief banged his hand on the table. Who made this soup? It is salty like seawater. Who cooked this rubbish? Akugo pointed at Adeze immediately. My husband. It was Adeze. She cooked it. Adeze's heart dropped. She knelt. Her hands shook. I am sorry, sir. I tasted it. It was not salty before. The chief shouted. Are you blind? Do you not know how to cook? How can you serve my visitors such nonsense? Shame! Shame on you. Adeze burst into tears. The chief stood up angrily. Get out of my sight before I do something I will regret. Adeze ran into her room crying. The guest whispered. The wife smiled secretly. The chief sat down frowning. Adeze lay on her bed, crying into her palms. She could not breathe properly. Her heart hot. Her head hot. Everything hot. Why is life doing this to me? She cried. Why did the gods abandon me? Why did my mother give me away? Why is this house full of wickedness? She felt like she was drowning in sadness. She felt like her spirit had left her body. She felt like the world was closing in. A thought entered her mind, a dangerous thought, a silent thought. one she had never imagined before. I must leave this place, even if I die. Her tears stopped suddenly. Her crying stopped. Her breathing slowed. A strange calmness entered her chest. She whispered, "Tonight, I will leave this compound." The moon rose again. The wives went to sleep. The guard stood near the main gate. The chief snored loudly in his room, but Adeze did not sleep. She sat on her bed, with her wrapper tied tightly. She listened. She waited. Her heart beat fast. She looked around the room one last time. The small bed, the tiny pot, the old lamp. Nothing she wanted to take. Nothing she cared for, except one thing, her freedom. She took a deep breath. "Obiora, if you can hear me, please be near me." She opened the door quietly. The night was silent. The air was cold. The compound looked peaceful, but Adeze felt danger everywhere. She tiptoed across the ground, past the kitchen hut, past the yam barn, past the sleeping goats. She reached the small corner near the fence. Her heart beat faster. She pushed a small wooden stool against the fence. She climbed it carefully. She placed her hands on top of the fence. She pulled herself up. Her arms shook. Her legs trembled. Her heart prayed. Finally, she reached the top. She swung one leg over, then the other. She dropped quietly to the other side. Her feet touched freedom. She whispered, "Thank you, thank you." She turned to run. But she did not know someone was waiting in the shadows. Someone who had been watching for days. Someone who loved her. As Adeze started to run into the night, a hand grabbed her gently from behind. She gasped. She turned quickly and saw him, Obiora, standing in the moonlight, breathing fast, eyes full of fear and love, looking like someone who had waited all night. Adeze covered her mouth with her hands. Her whole body shook. Oh, Obiora." He nodded. His voice was low, emotional. "Adeze, it's me. I am here. I have been waiting." She burst into tears. She ran into his arms. He held her tightly, very tightly, as if he never wanted to let go again. They cried together. There were no words, only tears. Tears of pain, tears of love, tears of relief. Finally, Adeze looked up at him. "Please, take me away. I cannot stay there again. I will die if I stay." Obiora wiped her tears gently. "I know. That is why I came. I will take you. Even if we must run through the night, even if we must hide in the forest, I will take you. I will protect you." Adeze held his hands tightly. "Obiora, please do not leave me. Please." He shook his head. "I will never leave you again." He lifted her hand. They began to run together, into the dark road, into the forest path, into uncertainty, into danger. But Adeze did not care. She felt alive again. For the first time in many days, she felt hope. She whispered, "Thank you, the gods. Thank you. Thank you for bringing him back." She did not look back. But if she had, she would have seen something terrifying. Two guards standing at the corner of the compound watching them, silent, alert, ready to raise alarm, ready to chase. The night was not on their side. The danger had begun. The night was dark and cold. The moon hid behind thick clouds. The wind whistled through the trees like a warning, while Adeze and Obiora did not stop running. Their feet hit the ground fast. Leaves brushed their legs. Branches scratched their arms. Their breathing was loud and heavy. But they kept going. They did not look back. They did not slow down because they knew one thing. If the chief's guards caught them, they would never be free again. Adeze held Obiora's hand tightly as they ran into the forest path. Her heart beat so fast she thought it might burst. "Obiora, are they chasing us?" she whispered, breathing hard. Obiora did not look back. Yes, they saw us, Keep running. Do not stop. Adese's leg burned. Her chest hot. Her whole body shook. But fear pushed her forward. Behind them, voices echoed. Stop there! They are running this way. Catch them alive! Adese's heart dropped. Tears filled her eyes. Obiora, I am scared. He squeezed her hand. I am here. No matter what happens, I am here. I will not leave you. They kept running. Their feet slipped on wet leaves. Twigs snapped under their weight. Owls hooted from the dark trees. But the guards' voices grew louder, closer, faster. Adese gasped. They are near. I know, Obiora said, breathing heavily. We will reach the old river. If we cross it, they will not catch us. The river will wash away our footprints. Adese nodded, even though she was scared. They pushed deeper into the forest. As they ran through a narrow path, Adese's foot hit a hidden root. She fell hard to the ground. Ah! She cried. Pain shot up her leg. Obiora turned immediately. Adese, are you hurt? She tried to stand, but pain made her cry out. My ankle! I think I twisted it. Obiora bent down quickly, lifting her gently. You cannot stop. Hold on to me. I will help you. He placed her arm around his shoulder and helped her walk. But this slowed them down, and the guards' voices became clearer. They went this way. Search the bushes. Do not let them escape. Adese's body shook. Obiora, leave me. Run. Save yourself. He stopped and looked at her with wide, angry eyes. Never say that again. I will never leave you. If we die together. She began to cry. He wiped her tears with his thumb. Trust me, I will get you out. Then he lifted her fully onto his back. Adese gasped. Obiora, I am too heavy. Be quiet. You are light like dry plantain. Hold me tight. She wrapped her arms around his neck. He stood up and ran. Obiora ran through the wet forest with Adese on his back. His muscles burned. His legs shook. His breath grew weak. But he did not stop. Every step was filled with love. Every step was filled with pain. Every step was filled with fear. Adese cried quietly, Obiora, please do not die. He shook his head, panting. I will not die. Not tonight. Not until I get you to safety. Branches scratched his face. Sharp stones cut his feet. He did not feel them. He only felt Adese's tears falling on his neck. Behind them, the guard shouted louder. I see footprints. They are close. Spread out. Block the river path. Obiora's heart froze. They were blocking the river. Their only chance, he whispered. Adese, the gods must help us now.